Okay, cool. So immediately when you look at the package, what do you think?
Um, they're noodles.
Okay. Feel free to go through it and tell me kind of like what comes to mind when you look at each part of the package.
Okay. It's interesting that it says like size small because for noodles, you don't really categorize them in that kind of size. I guess usually you would read like millimeters or whatever. Like thick or thin is usually just the types.
Mm-hmm.
And then also why rice stick? Because it's going to become a noodle, right? So why does it say rice noodles? But overall, like the picture is very nice, very appealing, and I like that it's 100% organic, ready in 5 minutes, low fat. But maybe, well, it's not really a fat food, so it's not necessary to be on there. I like the choice of font.
Yeah, feel free to call anything out. There's no harm in saying anything good or bad at all.
It's good that there's multiple languages.
Okay, so let's go back to the front. When you see the package, do you instantly know what it is? And where do you look to kind of figure out what this is?
Yeah, I would know that it's noodles right away. I think it's a little confusing that it says rice stick on it though. But the picture kind of fills it in for you that it's for pho.
So I noticed that you were looking at the side.
Yeah, the window. Actually, yeah, maybe having larger window area would be good for people, so it's more recognizable right away. Because if you have like different types of noodles out, on the shelf, you just want to quickly identify whichever one you're looking for, right? So,
would you say that that image is kind of ambiguous as to what it is?
No, I think this is good. Maybe the photo should be like the product photography should be just slightly different, where they like showcase the noodles a little bit more than the ingredients on top. Yeah, but like this is like clearly pho to me.
Okay. And you said there's a bit of confusion in the rice stick part. Can you elaborate a bit on that?
Yeah, shouldn't it be just like rice noodle? Yeah, because generally pho noodles I know are made of or should be made of rice, right? So I would want to read rice noodle, and rice stick is kind of. Oh, it doesn't really tell me anything. Like if you just saw it as rice stick, would you know it's noodles? Probably not.
There's a bit of confusion as to like what rice stick is. That you'd rather have noodle. Yeah. Would you say rice noodle makes sense, or would you say just pho noodles?
I think rice noodles is fine, or it could be like pho rice noodles.
Or rice noodles.
Because like rice noodles can be used for a variety of things, so it doesn't have to be for pho, right? You can put it in like spring rolls, right? So I think rice noodles is fine. Or you could have like uses on the back. So like, oh, great for a pho dish, or wrap it in a spring roll.
So, do you have any ideas or recommendations on how to make it like extremely easy for someone to know? Okay, these are noodles of pho. Like you mentioned, making the side a bit more, exposing a bit more.
Yeah. So like, really, you could just. There's lots of space here. You could condense it just like a little bit and have like a bigger window here in the middle.
Mm. Okay. Anything else you think on a packaging like this that you can think of that might improve someone's experience of like assessing a product like this? Anything that comes to mind that really that would be like, ah, nice to have. Or, oh, that's cool.
Maybe write how many servings this would be good for. Yeah.
Servings.
Yeah, okay. Serving size. Because like I wouldn't really know how much this equates to if I boiled the whole thing. Because I'm assuming you probably have to throw the whole thing in because they kind of are like intertwined together. And dried, so it might be hard to separate. If you wanted a smaller portion, yeah, serving size would be helpful. If it is just rice, you can probably write gluten-free because rice doesn't have gluten. So that could also help for people that are gluten sensitive.
And what do you think about having recipes at the back, or a simple pho recipe at the back? Like, what do you think would that help someone? What do you think? Improve the experience.
Actually, it says that. Okay, I'm noticing it now. You can use with fresh steak with roasted meat, deep fried spring rolls, or with broth of your choice. Yeah. I would be direct and just say like pho instead of broth of your choice.
What else do you think?
It still says fresh stick on it, so I would change it to noodles.
Okay. Cool. Let me see if I have any other questions. Okay, here's a question. Let's say you're at the grocery store and you're looking for noodles for pho. And there's a bunch of different options. What's going to make you pick one option over the other? Generally speaking. It's an open question.
Probably like if it overall looks like good quality. Like I'm thinking of the ramen aisle, and you know there's different types. It really depends what you're going for though, because there's like fancy instant ramen these days, so like the packaging is like very sleek and very nice. Or you could go for the more typical ramen, like cheap ramen. So it's kind of like different expectations. So you kind of, I think this is like the middle, not too fancy, but like not too cheap, which is good. I think that's like universally appealing.
Okay, and what do you look for when buying noodles? Like, what do you? How do you assess the quality beyond, I guess, the packaging?
I guess it's hard because you can't really tell. I think the packaging is what will help it stand out the most, really, because you can't really tell like just by looking at it for quality. Yeah.
What are the qualities of good noodles that we can use to describe what's inside? Like, for example, let me know what you think about the following words: fresh, soft, tender.
It's a bit hard because it's not those things because it's dried, and like noodles are just the base.
And so what makes good noodles in your mind? What would make the best
I think it's more dependent on how, like, if it's prepared properly. Even if you have even if you have cheap noodles, as long as you prepare it in the right time, I personally probably wouldn't be able to taste the difference if it was like presented in front of me. Yeah. If it was, overcooked and mushy, that's very obvious. Or if it's undercooked and like too hard to eat, yeah. So it's kind of hard. I would say focus on the ingredients being natural.
Focusing on natural ingredients and.
Yeah, and it says, here, no added preservatives.
Would having detailed information about the different ways to prepare the noodles help or add to the experience? Can you talk a little bit about that? Because different people have different ways of preparing noodles, right? And for different dishes too.
I feel like it should be the same though, because with Asian noodles in general, you cook them and then you cool them off by rinsing in cold water. And then you just either add the noodles into your broth or into your spring roll. So, like, the directions don't really change.
So they shouldn't change?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay. So, to sum up everything that we talked about, the rice stick, something to change. It's kind of confusing. Size S is kind of confusing as well. It should be thin or like a medium instead of just size S. I said ready in 5 minutes is cool. Image looks okay.
Actually, well, it says ready in 5 minutes, but then on the back it says cook for 8 minutes.
That is something to change. The side, you said you can open it up a bit more to expose the noodle.
Yeah.
Because you said that's what actually lets people know what it is.
Yeah, and like if they're looking for a specific size, it helps them see what it is.
The organic logo, you said was good. You said adding a gluten-free logo might be great.
I like the color choice as well. Overall, it's like very cohesive.
And on the back side, you said the languages are good.
Yeah.
You had really no comment about whether or not we should add recipes or.
Yeah, I don't think it's totally necessary because I feel like a person that's buying it already probably has what they want to make in mind. And then, if you add it, it might be overcrowding the design.
Okay. And let's expand on that last note. So you said someone who's buying it they're most likely already having something in mind that they want to cook. So I'm just trying to explore, like, what would lead someone to the aisle, for example, to buy something like this? Like, where are they in their kind of customer journey, I guess? Something that's coming to my mind is like recipe pages for pho, for example, which is where we were actually, because that might be like a good way to market products because we can get this on those pages where people are already intending to buy. Yeah.
I mean, if they're in the noodle aisle, then I guess, yeah, I assume they probably would know what dish they're making because, like, once you're in the noodle aisle, at least in the Asian one, there's going to be so many different types. So some are maybe for, like, the really thin kind that's, I don't know what they're called. Yeah, and then there's, like, possibly udon, or maybe the dried, like, fried noodle that's used for, like, Chinese, Cantonese, chow mein. I think, like, if you want to like add more pictures, like you could add spring rolls as well. So like having the pho and the spring roll could give them like, the immediate idea of like, oh, I want to make pho today, or I want to make spring rolls today. So maybe somebody who maybe not familiar with rice noodles would see the packaging and be like, oh, okay, I can make both with them. And then like the back does mention that we can put it into spring rolls or broth.
Cool. That's everything. Thank you. Stop this recording.